Hello everyone and welcome to another art time lapse. Today I'm doing the last little shop of the series inspired by Studio Ghibli, and this one is called The Bakery. Now I've been doing these shops for a couple months now. There are shops that are hat shops, there are juice shops, there's soup shops. Now I'm working on a bakery, which seems pretty intuitive given that if I'm looking at a Studio Ghibli theme, you can see that the characters are constantly eating some kind of carby item, whether it's bread or buns of some sort. So it was only natural for me at some point that I was gonna add a bakery to the set of shops. So in total I have 6 shops that I've done. I think I am fresh out of doing more shops. It was really nice to kind of do a collection because I can really see this 6 pieces coming together, framing them and putting in my living room. But at the same time, I love to paint all kinds of different things. I want to try this out and then maybe move on to other things. So here I'm using gouache, watering it down with a lot of water just to kind of outline where everything will be, the windows, the roofing, where the bread's gonna be. I want lots of bread in baskets piling out on the store. There's so much bread that it kind of overflows, and you can absolutely recognize that it's a bakery regardless if I say there's a sign for bakery or not. And as I'm doing this piece, I'm also thinking about what kind of Studio Ghibli inspired characters should I include to be the highlight of this piece. There are so many Studio Ghibli characters that would be perfect, like for example Kiki's livery service. The whole shop, the bakery is like the main backdrop for where Kiki stays, so of course it seems so intuitive to do a Kiki delivery service bakery, which is why I'm not going to do it. But I've already done actually Kiki for another shop, which is the post office, which is very fitting as well, given that Kiki does deliver all kinds of items. With that said, I'm still debating what I would do. But here, as you can see, I wait for the previous layer to dry, and then I'm adding on more gouache with just mixing in other colors into that original background shade so that there's a clear blending and the colors will match nicely. Adding in some red because I do want some pop of color for this piece. And then I want some greenery as well, so I'm going to add in some plants, and the door is going to be bright green. I love it when these shops have these coverings with stripes on it. I feel like it's so iconic and so cute, so I knew I was going to do that with the stripe cover in the top. All of these pieces I'm painting on a watercolor block, and then when I'm finished I usually just use a palette knife to kind of get the paper off the block, and then I would add the details. So here I started adding the characters. I don't know if you recognize at this point what the characters are, but the theme is Spirited Away. I feel like I do need a Spirited Away theme in this entire collection, so that's why I added it. I love the idea of Chiro and Haku just like huddling beside a bakery and just sharing their bread and bun on the side in the front of the shop. That would be so cute. If you are not new to my channel, you know how I have a huge affinity for the Spirited Away movie because it's one of the movies that first really draw me into the Studio Ghibli world, even though they had so many great movies. I think my first one's probably Totoro, but man, this one was just amazing. And looking back, like this movie's been out for like years. It just really shows my age, but I think it's still pretty timeless right now. So here I'm adding in a little bit of darker colors to highlight the backgrounds and details with the bread baskets and the plants. I'm using the finest color brush I have. I think this might be a 0 size water painting brush. So I know I want to do an open sign as well by the window of the bakery, and here the gouache has fully dried and I'm adding in my oil pencils and shading in the colors. I love to use a wax white pencil to kind of do blending for my oil pencils. It just seems to work out a lot better. But I do use gouache as the overlay color in the background before I use any oil pencils and wax pencils for blending. You can see I'm mostly finished the striped roof on the top with the covering, and it looks really nice using this mixed media method. And I welcome you to kind of try it out with your gouache as well, because gouache works really well for mixed media in that you don't have to just use water and just mix it with gouache, but once it dries matte, so it's easier for you to add other types of media like oil pencils or ink. So here is just a quick and hasten process of me doing some blending in colors. What I've learned over the years is that it makes a difference when you do something softly and just take your time doing it for a longer period. The colors will come out so much softer and more beautiful, as opposed to pushing really dark hard on the pencil crayon and getting the color on quickly. Next, I can see I'm using my oil pencils to kind of draw in the little bricks. I do think that these little details make a big difference for illustration like this. I also use different types of ink, including the Sakura Jelly Roll, to kind of add in little details, especially my white highlights. I love using the Sakura Jelly Roll for white highlights. I think it's such an affordable ink pen that's so easily accessible in local stationery stores and also in art shops. Well, now I'm just gonna stay quiet and let you enjoy the rest of the art time lapse. Well, thank you for joining me on this art time lapse of my series of shops inspired by Studio Ghibli. And as always, everybody take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay safe and stay creative. Bye for now.